Okay, let's start. Okay, so today, okay, so first welcome to ninth semester. Okay, but within few days we are going to submit the result. Right, most of them अब राम्रै गरेको छ. All copies are same almost. अब त्यो तिम्रो that is a disadvantage of doing the online exam. Okay, okay. तर जे होस् लेखेको छ अब फाइनलमा पनि I hope you all will do same. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about the common congenital anomalies in newborn babies. Okay. Okay. So first coming to, okay. So cleft lip. Okay. So cleft lip and cleft palate. Okay. So this is the most common congenital anomalies that you will encounter when we are doing round or when the baby is delivered. Okay. So cleft lip is an abnormality in which the lip does not completely form during the fetal development. Okay. So lip should be complete, but there is some discontinuity in the lip which is known as the cleft lip. Okay. So cleft palate means there is some discontinuity in the सुनिरहेछ तिमीहरूले क्लियर छ
Yes ma'am.
Yes ma'am.
So cleft palate means there is a roof. Okay, palate is the roof of the mouth where there is a discontinuity. Okay, so it should be continuous, but there is some defect in the palate which is known as the cleft palate. Okay, so there is a discontinuity and which can extend from, so mouth palate, if there is a complete cleft palate means the mouth oral cavity is connected with the nasal cavity. Okay, if it is complete cleft palate. Okay, so you can see this is the incomplete unilateral small cleft lip only. Okay, this is a unilateral but complete cleft lip. Okay, so this baby has a bilateral cleft lip. Okay, so there are so many. So these pictures will represent the different types of the cleft palate. Okay, so this is a normal one. This is a unilateral cleft lip. This is a bilateral cleft lip. Okay, so but the palate is intact. Okay, this is a cleft of the uvula. You can see this is a uvula and there is some defect. Okay, U shape of a uvula. Yes, so there is a defect. So this is the cleft of the uvula one. Okay, so here you can see the lip is normal. Okay, lip is normal. There is no discontinuity in the cleft lip. But while you see this is a cleft palate, but in the right side there is a defect on the palate. Okay, so this is a unilateral. This is a cleft palate. Okay, so you can see the mid septum, you can see nasal septum, you can see. Okay, but this is the right side and this is the left side. Okay, so this is a bilateral cleft palate. Okay, so this is a unilateral cleft lip and the anterior one, the anterior some part of the cleft palate is different. Okay, so this is the unilateral cleft lip and full palate is involved. The part of the anterior palate is involved and the full palate is involved. Okay, so this is the bilateral palate is involved. Only the anterior part of the palate is involved. Okay, so this is the bilateral cleft lip and the cleft palate. Okay, okay. So these are the different types you can see. Okay, okay. So what are the etiology of cleft lip and cleft palate? So why these babies are more prone to have a cleft lip or the cleft palate? Okay, so one component is the genetical predisposition is there. Okay, so which is known as the hereditary. If you see your father or your mother, grandparents, one of them is having the cleft palate or cleft lip, there is more chance that this child, the newborn baby, is having the cleft palate when you compare with the other family who do not, no one has a cleft palate. So there is a genetical predisposition is there. Okay, sometimes one generation may be missed, so the third generation can have a cleft lip or cleft palate. Okay, so another is a nutritional distribution during the development. Okay, so most of the time if the patient has some nutritional deficiency, okay, most common is the folic acid, but besides that some other nutritional deficiency can also lead to the cleft palate and the cleft lip. Okay, that's the reason why we counsel the newly married couple. If they have a very weight is less than 40 or 45, we ask them to build the weight first. Okay, have a good nutrition before they conceive, so that there is less chance of the congenital anomalies. Okay, so another is the physiological, emotional, or the traumatic stress. Okay, if the patient is very stressed during the early phase of the pregnancy, okay, so then there is a chance of the cleft lip and the cleft palate. Okay, so defective vascular supply to the affected area can lead to cleft lip and cleft palate. Okay, another is the mechanical disturbance. Okay, if there is a too big size of the size of the tongue, and then it will interfere with the proper development of the cleft palate, means, or cleft lip, means they can have a cleft lip of the cleft palate. It is directly related with the circulation as well. Okay, and some of the drugs, okay, like you can see aminotriptyline, cortisol, thalidomides, okay, anti-cancer drugs. These all are the drugs which can lead to the congenital anomaly. Well, not only cleft lip and the cleft palate. Okay, we always ask the parents, okay, if the parents is mother is on cortisol or not. Okay, if mother is having some anti-cancer treatments, okay, and then accidentally or planned they conceive the baby. Okay, so we have to counsel the patient party that your child gonna have a more congenital anomaly than the normal child. Okay, so effect of the alcohol is also there. Okay, directly or indirectly, it is again related with the vasoconstriction and all those things. Okay, there is a decreased blood supply and decrease that proper growth will be not occurs in the cleft lip and the cleft palate, so which will lead to the defect. Okay, so if there is a radiation during the pregnancy, there is an infection during the pregnancy, especially if the mother is having the torch infection. Okay, torch infection boy, there is more chance of, and or other congenital infections also, there will be the more chance of the cleft lip and the cleft palate. Okay, so there is a lack of inheritance development, force, maternal smoking. Okay, some other syndrome may associated with the cleft lip and the cleft palate. Okay, so these all are the not only for the cleft lip and the cleft palate, this is the etiology for other congenital anomalies as well. Okay, okay, so the clinical features, you can, most of the time nowadays, there is at 20 weeks of pregnancy, all the mother will go for the congenital anomaly scanning. Okay, so nowadays most of the babies will diagnose during the congenital anomaly scanning. Okay, they have a cleft lip or the cleft palates. Okay, so immediate problem at the birth is a feeding problem will be there. Okay, so what will happen? So there will be the feeding problem because they do not do the shocking राम्रोसँग गर्न सकिँदैन, swallow गर्ने बेला regurgitate हुने chance हुन्छ. So there is a special bottle is also there. Okay, Haberman feeders is also there, you can feed with that also. Okay, the different type of Johnson bottle is also there, you can give feeding with that bottle as well. Okay, okay, so you have to do the correction of the cleft lip and the cleft palate. Okay, you can see this is the patient with the cleft palate. Okay, cleft lip also is there. You can see there is a discontinuity of the cleft lip. So most probably this patient has a bilateral cleft lip and the cleft palate. Okay, so if you see those patients, what we used to do, we send them to the dental department, or we ask them to come to our pediatric departments to take the impression. Okay, so this is a soft things that like a glue like things, they will take the impression of this palette. Okay, so after this impression from the, this is the plastic obturators. Okay, they will make this obturator, and look, this obturator as fixed here. Okay, so what will happen if you fix this obturator? Now you can see there is a, if you see closely, there is a bilateral cleft palate here, the here and here. So when you put the obturator, you are completely, now there is no defect. Okay, so the patient can do sucking and the swallowing properly. Okay, so we can use this type of the obturator as well. But this is a temporary solution. Ultimately, we have to go with the correction. Okay, so cleft lip, 3 months of age, you can do the cleft lip surgery, but there may need to revision surgery as well. cleft palate you have to do before 1 age, because if the patient is having the cleft palate, if the baby try to speak, produce the word, okay, with like 9-10 months पछि उसले wordहरू produce गर्न थाल्छ हैन 1 year मा, त्यो बेला के हुन्छ त, they will do the nasal intonation will be there, okay, so the word will have a nasal intonation. So what we do, we have to do the correction before 1 year so that the baby can speak properly, okay. So here are some of the syndromes, okay, which is associated with the congenital anomaly. I do not go with the detail, okay. They're like Down syndrome, Char syndrome, Dizor syndromes, okay. These all syndromes, Perry-Robbie syndromes, okay. These all are the syndromes which will be associated with the cleft lip and the cleft palate, okay. Syndrome भनेको मतलब there's so many other defect as well. So one part of that defect is the cleft palate and cleft lip, okay. Okay, so you can see this is the Haberman's feeder, okay. What is the advantage of this Haberman's feeder? Usually सानो यस्तो हुन्छ तर यसमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ, the cleft palate will be closed with these things, okay. So this is a Haberman feeder. This is the mid junction bottles for the cleft lip, okay. Cleft lip को लागि चाहिँ हामीले के गर्छौं, यो bottle use गर्छौं. Cleft palate को लागि चाहिँ लामो, this is the long elongated tube is there. So the palate which is defect will be covered with this, okay. Okay, so what are the sequelae of the cleft lip and the cleft palate? What will happen? So what is the disadvantage of having cleft lip and the cleft palate? So this patient can have recurrent otitis media can occur, and there is a hearing loss, there is a malposition of teeth, and there is a velopharyngeal dysfunction is there, okay. Okay, so another important one is the diaphragmatic hernia. Okay, so what will happen in the diaphragmatic hernia? So this is one of the common congenital anomalies in the newborn babies, okay, which need prompt diagnosis and treatment. Otherwise, the patient will have a morbidity and mortality as well, okay. So there is a classification of diaphragmatic hernia. There is one is a posterolateral type of diaphragmatic hernia, which is also known as the Burke-Delict hernia. Okay, so another type of the hernia is the anterior hernia, which is also known as the Morgagni hernia. Okay, so another is the hiatus hernia. What are the clinical features of the diaphragmatic hernia? Okay, so first we will know this. Look, this is a normal chest. Okay, so what is happening? So there is small defect in the diaphragm. Okay, here is a small defect in the diaphragm. So from this defect part, most of the intestinal contents is in the left side of the thorax. Okay, not only the intestine, sometimes whole stomach, spleen can be there. Okay, if it is on the right side, the part of the intestine, liver, or the stomach will be the contained in the right side. Okay, so congenital diaphragmatic hernia, so it may be on the right or the left side. So common is the left side. Okay, so one is the posterolateral part, is which one is the common one, and there may be the anterior defect as well. Okay, so what will be the presentation of this congenital diaphragmatic hernia? Because most of the content, okay, most of the intestinal content, sometimes even the stomach, liver, spleen, that can be in the thoracic cavity. Okay, so what will happen? The abdomen looks very scaphoid because most of this content from the very early pregnancy will be in the thoracic part. Okay, and so the abdomen will be scaphoid abdomen. So what will happen? The lungs is compromised now because most of the abdominal content is on the right side. Okay, here in this condition, right side. So this left side. So left side lungs is compromised. What will happen during the intrauterine period? There will the lungs development ma hamro ke huncha, canalicular stage and the saccular stage. There is a 2 stages of the lung development. Okay, so most of the canalicular stage will occur in the very early pregnancy. So if diaphragmatic hernia is occurs in the very early pregnancy, the canalicular stage will not be occur. So that has a poor prognosis. But if this diaphragmatic hernia occurs in the mid or the late trimester, so the canalicular stage is well formed. Okay, saccular stage the late pregnancy, even after birth also it will continue. So at that time, their prognosis is good and there is no chance of the pulmonary hypertension. But if there is a baby diaphragmatic hernia is associated with the pulmonary hypertension, then the prognosis is not so good. Okay, So physical examination, you will see the sign of the respiratory distress will be seen. Sometimes baby will be cyanosed, okay, you will see. And there is an absent breath sound on the one side of the chest. If you do the examination of the chest, okay, the affected chest, there is a decreased movement of the affected chest, and that side chest, there is a decreased movement, but you will see the bulging of that side. If left side is affected, left side you will see bulging compared with the right side, and then there is a decreased movement of the chest because all of the chest will be contained with the abdominal content, okay. So the patient will have, if you do the auscultation of the chest, there is a decreased air entry on the affected side. But what will happen, you can see there is a bowel sound. You can hear the bowel sound on, like if you do the this, if you auscultate this air, the air entry will be diminished if you compare with the right side. But what will happen, you can hear the bowel sound on this side, okay. So that in this way you can confirm the congenital diaphragmatic hernia, okay. Stomach will be empty, so there will be the scaphoid abdomen will be there, okay. Examination, what you can do with the investigation, after examination you can do the x-ray, ultrasound, you can even do the chest CT, abdomen and the chest CT you can do, okay. You can do the arterial blood gas analysis, okay. But which you will give, we will know the, get the idea about the whether patient need ventilations or not, okay. How much severe is the respiratory problem, you can identify by doing the ABG. If PO2 is very low and PCO2 is very high, pH is deranged, then this may indicate that most probably this patient need the immediate intubation, or you need to change the ventilatory parameter, okay. So you can do the MRI also, okay. Even in the fetal time you can do the MRI. Nowadays most of the congenital diaphragmatic hernia, it's diagnosed during the congenital anomaly scanning at the 20 weeks. So we will ask for to be on the cesarean section so that we can do the resuscitation immediately, okay. So you can see the chest X-ray here, all of the intestinal content, okay. Even maybe part of the liver may be here, okay. Content, liver is also pushed up, and these all are the intestines, okay. So because of this, there is a pushing of the mediastinum and trachea, okay. So the push passer, you can see, hardly see the left-sided long parenchyma because of this all abdominal content, it pushes the mediastinum, okay. So this is the right side, which is not so common. And you can see the second picture, this is the chest, okay. And you can see this is the heart, and then in the left side, you can see all of the intestine is in the abdomen. All the abdominal intestinal content is in the left side. But you can still see the gas shadow here, which is good. Abdomen, you can see the abdomen, stomach is still in the abdomen, okay. But you can see these all are the small intestine, which is in the left side, okay. Okay, so you can see here, these all are the intestinal contents on the left side, okay. So this is the diagrammatic representation of this chest X-ray. You can see this chest X-ray, all the intestinal content is here, okay. So this is the X-ray like this, okay. Okay, so complication of the diaphragmatic hernia, there will be pulmonary hypoplasia because lung cannot grow properly. Okay, if there is a use intestinal content is on the chest, then lung will not able to grow properly. Okay, so there is the pulmonary hypoplasia. So the gastric volvulus may be present on the if the stomach is on and the intestine is on that chest, it may rotate, okay, abnormally and leads to the volvulus, okay. So there may be the rotational abnormality, and the midgut volvulus is also there, okay. Hypoplasia of the left ventricle with the left-sided hernia and the pleural effusion. Left-sided ma use hernia from the very beginning of the fetal life, means there is a hypoplasia of the left side as well, okay. And there is a bilateral renal hypertrophy can occur, may be associated with the congenital anomaly. Okay, so when patient is having the pulmonary hypoplasia and the left ventricular hypoplasia, the prognosis is not so good. Okay, so another one congenital anomaly which is not so common, but this is very important one because we have to diagnose very early. If we diagnose very early and we treat the condition, the patient will have a completely normal life. But if you diagnose the patient late, not even late, like 3 months, 4 months, but you diagnose boy, then the patient will not survive, because you have to do the operation very early. If you do the operation late, then patient will have a biliary cirrhosis and will expire. Okay, so prognosis is very bad if you diagnose late. That's the reason why we have to diagnose very early, though the disease is not so common. Okay, so biliary atresia, you all know atresia means biliary means biliary tract. Okay, on the way of biliary excretion, you can see this is the way for the bile duct excretion. So on the way of this bile duct excretion, it will leads to the atresia. Means the part of that portion, some part of that portion is not well formed. Okay, during the developmental process. Okay, which will leads to the obstruction in the bile flow. Okay, so what will happen if there is an obstruction in the bile flow? The liver will be affected. Liver ma ke huncha ta bile stasis huna thale bhane chai that will definitely with some time it will leads to the biliary cirrhosis will occur and patient will expire because of the biliary cirrhosis. So what is the symptoms of the biliary atresia? Okay, key symptoms of biliary atresia? Typically, the first sign of the biliary atresia is jaundice, which results from the buildup of the bile in the body. किनभने यो bile जुन formation हुन्छ नि, यो लिभरबाट bile formation भएको के हुन्छ, that needs to be excreted continuously in the second part of the duodenum. Okay, so when there is atresia, when bile could not flow, there is a stasis of the bile. Okay, your bile stasis huna thale भने के हुन्छ, that will be the patient will develop the jaundice. Okay, so which kind of jaundice the patient will develop? This is a conjugated jaundice. Okay, conjugated jaundice चाहिँ गर्छ. Okay, टाइम सक्यो भने हामीले योमा रिकरेन्ट गर्न मिल्छ होला है एकछिनको लागि. Okay, so this will be obstruction will occurs and then will lead to the biliary atresia. So there will be the conjugated hyperbilirubinemia will occurs. Okay, infant with biliary atresia typically develop jaundice by 3 to 6 weeks of age. You know, early jaundice हुनुभन्दा पनि अलि ढिला चाहिँ jaundice हुन्छ, because this is a pathological jaundice which will start little bit late. Okay, if you see the stool, okay, because the color of the stool is yellow because of this bile. Okay, when there is an absence of the bile, the stool will be whitish color of the stool. Alcohol color पनि भन्छ. Stool चाहिँ के हुन्छ त हामीको whitish color को stool हुन्छ. Okay, urine will be dark and there is an abdominal distension will be there. Okay. Okay, so this is a HIDA scanning, which is not so important for your level. Okay, this is scanning you can read by yourself. Okay, HIDA scanning गर्दा चाहिँ के हुन्छ, biliary excretion भएको चाहिँ हामीले देख्न सक्दैनौँ. Okay, so this is also black and white pictures of the HIDA scanning, where you can see there is a bile in the liver is seen, but the biliary tract is absent because there is a no flow of the bile ducts. Okay, you can see there is some in between is not present. Okay, kunaiमा भकै छैन. Okay, so this is a HIDA scanning which will show the obstruction in the bile flow. Okay, so this condition is diagnosed. हामीले अल्ट्रासाउन्ड गर्न सकिन्छ. अल्ट्रासाउन्ड गर्दा के हुन्छ त भनेपछि the gallbladder could not be visualized. हैन, gallbladder visualize भएन. In the empty stomach मा चाहिँ early हामीले NPO राख्छौं newborn लाई हैन. NPO राखेन भने if the baby is feeding means gallbladder will be contracted, so we may not be able to see the gallbladder. So we keep the baby's NPO and then we do the ultrasound, and there will be the gallbladder could not be visualized. Okay, if gallbladder could not be visualized means most probably this is a biliary atresia. Okay, so with the time there will be derangement in the LFT. Okay, you will see the pictures of the cirrhosis. APT, PT will be high. So you can see the biliary liver biopsy can also be done and HIDA scanning will be done. Okay, so we can do the surgery which is known as the Kasai procedures. Okay, will be done to perform the reconstruction of the bile duct. Okay, so if you do this operation within 3 months, okay, then the prognosis is good. So if you diagnose late or after 4 or 5 months, and then if you do the operation, the prognosis is very poor, and by 6-7 months, the biliary cirrhosis will be developed. Okay. So another term is the gastrocchiasis. Okay, what do you mean by gastrocchiasis? This is a congenital condition in which the baby's stomachs or the intestine, protrudes out of the body due to the opening or the defect in the abdomen. Okay. This is also diagnosed usually during the congenital anomaly scan. So there is a defect in the abdomen. Okay, you can see there is a defect in the abdomen, and from that defect, the part of the intestine is coming out. Okay, so other part may be coming out. Okay, stomach, spleen, or if the defect is very big. Okay, and if the defect is small, usually it contains the small bowel. If it is like slightly more bigger, then you can see the large bowel as well. Okay, so there is a defect in the abdominal wall from where the intestine will be come out in the surface. Okay, so what will happen? This will diagnosis you can do with the naked eye examinations also. Okay, so what you can do for the gastrocchiasis, you can put placement of the gastrocchiasis मा चाहिँ हाम्रो के हुन्छ सिलास्टिक बाउल ब्याग हुन्छ. So this is the सिलास्टिक बाउल bag. You can plastic or a bag हुन्छ. त्यसमा हामीले के हुन्छ, all the content we will put inside this bag. Okay, अनि हामी यहाँ चाहिँ तल गरिदिन्छ हैन, त्यो ब्यागलाई चाहिँ के गर्छ, माथि प्रेसरमा चाहिँ we will just hang this bag. Okay, so with the pressure, gradually this intestinal content will goes inside the abdomen. Okay, with time. Okay, त्यसपछि हामीले gradually intestinal content हेरेर पहिला माथि थियो full of this bag is contained with the intestine हैन. After a few days you can ligate here. Okay, त्यसपछि intestinal content अर्को कुनै दिनपछि अझै कम भयो, you ligate here, you ligate here. By this time it will gradually goes inside the abdomen. Okay. Okay, so management, how you can do the management? So it is purely the surgical management. Okay, so I won't go detailing with the management. From our part, pediatric part, what we can do with the fluid and electrolyte balance. We can give the analgesics and we can give the antibiotic for the prevention of the secondary bacterial infection, and the close monitoring should be done. Okay, so any patient who, the good part of this gastrocchiasis is that most of the time this gastrocchiasis, hereditary component is very high. आमा बाउमा gastrocchiasis भयो भने बच्चालाई हुने चान्स एकदम हाई हुन्छ. But the good part is that it is not associated with the other congenital anomalies. Okay. Okay, so there are two components. Look, this is the omphalocele and this is the gastrocchiasis. Okay, so there are the difference between the omphalocele and the gastrocchiasis. Omphalocele means the herniation of the abdominal content in the enclosed sac. यसमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ, sac चाहिँ के हुन्छ, enclosed भएको sac मा भएको हुन्छ. While you look, this is the omphalocele हैन, यो चाहिँ के हुन्छ, sac चाहिँ intact छ. जबकि हाम्रो gastrocchiasisमा हाम्रो के थियो, all the intestinal content is there and there is no sac. Okay, while here you can see there is a sac is present. Okay, but in case of the gastrocchiasis there is no sac, all the visceral abdominal viscera चाहिँ के हुन्छ, बाहिर आइसकेको हुन्छ. Okay, failure of meat gut to return to the abdomen during the physiological rotation at the 10 weeks भयो. There is a failure of the fusion of the lateral fold of embryonic disc in 4 weeks मा भयो भने चाहिँ यो भयो. These are the risk factor: increased maternal age, twins, high gravita. Okay, here चाहिँ के हुन्छ, young maternal age, the two opposite. Okay, low gravita and the preemie. यसमा high gravita र increased maternal age, यसमा चाहिँ low maternal age and the low gravita. Okay, so mode of delivery. Okay, if large defect, large defect भयो भने चाहिँ हामीले CS गर्न सकिन्छ हैन, more than 5 centimeter. Otherwise we can try for the normal delivery as well. Okay, cesarean section if liver is exposed, intestine मात्र exposed भयो हुँदैन, liver exposed भयो भने we do the cesarean section. Okay, there are some associated anomalies. There are the omphalocele, though it looks small, हेर्दा the gastrocchiasis looks very scary. Okay, while omphalocele looks not so scary because it is small one and there is a content of the enclosed sac is there. Okay, but It has a bad prognosis because it is associated with a multiple other congenital anomalies. Look, it is associated with the congenital heart disease, imperforated anus, meningomyelocele, and the congenital diaphragmatic hernia. Okay, so while the gastroschisis has a good prognosis because it is usually not associated with the other congenital malformation. त्यो मालफर्मेसनहरू हुने यिनीहरूको चान्स चाहिँ लो छ यसमा. सो इट हेज अ गुड प्रोग्नोसिस, सो इट हेज अ पोर प्रोग्नोसिस. होइन, सो प्रोग्नोसिस डिपेन्ड अन द एसोसिएटेड एनोमेली. होइन, जस्तै साइनोटिक कन्जेनिटल हार्ट डिजिज छ भने इट हेज भेरी पोर प्रोग्नोसिस. होइन, इन नेपाल अल्टिमेटली दे हेभ टु एक्सपायर विथ सम टाइम. ओके, so this has a depend on the prognosis. If it is not associated with other major, like if it is associated with the meningomyelocele, के हुन्छ त? This future is very dark. होइन, के पनि गर्न सक्दैन meningomyelocele. They will be bilateral limb will be paralyzed whole life. They have to depend on the wheelchair. Okay, so there will be stool and urine incontinence. So the prognosis is very bad in this condition as well. Okay. While in the gastroschisis, though it looks very scary, lots of the abdominal content, intestinal content is outside exposed without the sac. But if the operation is successful, okay, so with the bag rakera, gradually gonna bio, if we can prevent from the infection, the prognosis is very good because it is not associated with the other congenital anomaly. Okay, so this is the omphalocele. Another is a cystic adenomyoid malformation. Okay, so what will happen? Some part of the lung, it is usually diagnosed through the ultrasound during the congenital anomaly. So what will happen? Beside the normal lung tissue, okay, some of the lung tissue will be abnormally replaced by some cystic lesions in the lungs. Okay, so this is also usually diagnosed at the congenital anomaly scanning. If the mother has not done the congenital anomaly scanning, when the baby is delivered, they will present with the abdominal, they will present with the respiratory distress. So when we evaluate for the respiratory distress, at that time we will be able to find the cystic adenomyoid malformation. Look, you say this side